Cool. So I want to kick off with a poem called Doubt. And this is just about, those times when you feel disillusioned about just writing in general, and you feel like, why am I doing this? What is all of this for? Why did I ever pick up the pen? So it's for those moments. It's called Doubt. And for the sake of this poem, if we can just all do me a favor and imagine that you are in the middle of winter in Edinburgh, instead of the literal opposite weather that I could have performed this in.
It feels cold right now. It feels like Edinburgh.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, artificial Edinburgh. Doubt. It's an early winter morning. The fog's too thick to see, and everything is fast asleep, including everything inside. I cannot write. I cannot write. Now, don't get me wrong. There's plenty to write about, plenty to fight for, maybe less to fight about. In the chill December fog that the city is deforming into, loud, hopeful voices still breathe fire into mornings. I could stick the pen mid-air and have it siphon in a second every person, place, and politics the powerful have threatened. Every bomb, every riot, every refugee in crisis, every mob, every killing, every bid for paradise, and every silent prompted cry for help, and every lifeless eye, every body that was forced to work and rather chose to die, every war, every genocide, every nation wronged, and every army that refused to fucking stay where it belonged, and every whisper, every cry, every silence, every shout. I don't think I can deny that there is much to write about, so why the doubt? Why do thoughts that carried truth and beauty now must fly without? Where are the words that spoke the truth to power on the page and sounded good to listen to on stages where I read them out? See, true things, they sound ugly now, and beautiful things false. So do I speak the truth with ugliness, or do I lie without? The metaphors that oiled the very hinges of my speech are boiling over into language that refuses to be reached, and the mist that trailed my thoughts and made them sound like what you seek is galvanizing into walls that seem to have no mouths to speak. Because voices, they sound ugly now, and courteous silence weak. So do I scream with hideous clarity or calmly double-speak? Is my poetry double-speak? Impressive at the cost of truth, deliberately oblique? What use is my attempt to show the suffering of my world when every single word is tempered by the pen it has to meet? What happens when the injury is not even mine to treat? Will people who confront a genocide in every breath agree with me deploying metaphors to clarify their death? Isn't it deceit to call the blood a river or the gun a mountain peak, to act like bleak and beautiful are one? What happens when reality requires no further clarity? Is gravity still welcome when you have nowhere to jump? Does what I write still say the naked truth or just a truth I don't mind saying? And every time I write, am I betraying my intent? Am I someone who can't help euphemize what he is seeing? Does poetry require the truth to bend? I don't know. I don't know if I should make the hinges of my language turn in service of a craft that chisels even as it claims to burn. I don't know if it's possible to weaponize a word that needs to beg for your attention first in order to be heard. I don't know if the day I write a piece on Palestine, if I'll be helping or hurting the cause by trying to make it rhyme. I don't know if the truth can sit with beauty without bursting at the seam, their harmony receding like a dream. It's an early winter morning, the fog too thick to see. I'm writing. I don't know if I'm writing poetry. Thank you. So this one is a new poem.
New shit.
Yeah, new shit. And it's an angry one. It's the only proper angry poem I've ever written. Because what a terrible time to be an immigrant. So this is called a non-exhaustive list of words taken from a certain recent political speech on immigration. These words don't have English origins. Slogan, Scottish Gaelic. Chaos, Greek. System, Greek. Technology, Greek. Economy, Greek. Healthcare, hybrid. Skills, Old Norse. Debate, Old French. Cynicism, Greek. Fair, Old Norse. Broken, Old Norse. Cheap, Old Norse. Visa, Italian. And all of them have stories if you care to find them. Not the usual suspects, the Latin word subject to hundreds of meanings like the Holy Trinity of love, hope, and freedom. I mean words that are so cold that when you read a sentence, you barely read them. Take debate, which has a Latin family but calls themselves French, so they no longer have a Latin family and will probably never have an English family, and they don't quite get along with the French words in English who still see them with stranger eyes. Stranger, Latin family were decided to be French somewhere down the line and became a stranger to their own Latin ancestors. Nobody remembers where they came from, least of all the tongues that use them as insults, but they're a model citizen, strangers. Never miss an opportunity to act like the crowd, but deep down they know they'll never belong as long as they're not prepared to disappear, even if that's not fair. Stood for aesthetic value at one point, but was later co-opted to stand for ethical value as well. But because beauty is good and good is beauty, although beauty is Latin and good is Proto-Indo-European. But never mind. We're very accepting of words that broke rules before the rules existed. That's fair. That's inclusion. We're all about including the words who listen. Yes, sir. No denigration of immigration here. Denigrate. Literally translating to blacken. The problem is obvious, but I will still say it. For some words can never quite shake off the history that looms over their futures. Some words, like undermine, will always carry violence in their hearts. Speaking of hearts, encourage. Originally meant give heart, an action and a command, to believe in something so much you offer it the organ that keeps you alive. He doesn't remember the last time he was used properly and spends his evenings playing Scrabble with economy. Who's also forgotten that she originally came from the Greek world for household management. When she's sufficiently drunk, she'll tell you she's lost count of how many cunts have used her to tear a family into pieces. Get me some ice, will you, from the freezer? Isn't that right? Visa, Italian origin, the same place that vision comes from, a piece of paper that throws you into relief in the front of the government. He's a little confused about his identity, a little out of touch. So he tries on different skins like hats, hoping one of them will show him who he's meant to be. Permanent, temporary, short-term, long-term, sponsored, dependent. He doesn't quite understand why it takes so many papers to see people, but he doesn't complain. Like other Italian words, of which there aren't many in the language, he's just happy to be here. And last I heard, they're all happy to be here, floating like bread in a linguistic soup that resents the fact that they leave crumbs. Trails that show people where they are from and where they might go. And as far as I know, they're drafting a petition, a law that would require every person to ask for consent before using a word, a law that would guarantee a word the right to say no, to refuse to be twisted beyond recognition, to insist that its usage carry the weight of its origination, the choice of its journey, and the purpose behind its destination, a declaration that words are not vessels to be emptied and refilled with the poison of the nearest politician, a law that would make them feel like people, or something like it. And last I heard, 3 signatures signed the paper immediately. Love, hope, and freedom. Thank you. So, I'm originally from India, and this next piece is quite personal. It's all about memories and about a particular memory of my grandfather that is always close to my heart. So it's called Memories. There's something beautiful about some memories. They're objects defying the deaths of their subjects, like wrapping paper that preserves the shape of what it covers, so a little boy never forgets what his first wish looked like. It was a gift from Santa, and Santa looked a lot like Grandpa. Grandpa with his cloud-white hair impersonating engine smoke from his workplace, a train station that groaned daily with muffled cries and muttered incantations arising from 50 memories defying 50 goodbyes. I see his eyes as they congealed from sheep white to sodium orange to apple red, thanks to the tobacco he gargled like toothpaste. Toothpaste that always would taste of fresh guilt and stale habit, but for one 5-year-old boy, he was the entire planet. You see, there's something religious about some memories. They're devotees that meditate on a melody and never leave. Speaking of melodies, you can memorialize a memory musically. Take notes, no, literally, and a steady beat going underneath, and your memory is as immortal as it will ever be. So when you're 65 with Alzheimer's and a swiftly dying brightness in your eyes, and your sense of left and right and wrong and right have all but come undone, a single 60s song will help you briefly find your grandson. And for one glorious minute you will hum the line he hasn't sung yet. And then you will reset. Go back into the man he has never met, burying a man he will never meet. There is something incomplete about some memories. They're engines that ran out of smoke and forgot to breathe. Like a cloud of white hair that exhaled on its pillow for the final time and left behind a widowed family that's still trying to grieve. And the boy has grown up now, he moved across the sea, and sometimes he still sees you when he falls asleep. Like engine smoke extending hope as remedy, like I wish you had left the planet next to me. like I wish you'd left when I wasn't fast asleep. My mother says his Alzheimer's outperished him. For 15 minutes, he remembered everything. He spoke with her, he spoke with Dad, he blessed them both. His breath congealed before his soul went up in smoke. Is it absurd to wish I'd heard his final words and sat with him, as terrifying as that would be? Does it make sense to wish you had a memory, to long for life to have gone a little differently? I don't know. But I know there's something beautiful with memories, especially the ones that look a lot like dreams. Thank you. So this one's one of my Roundhouse pieces, and it is on growing up with more than one language. So it's called Forked Tongue. When I was 5, I was told my tongue was forked at the hinge, cut half down the middle, foundation to fringe, and if I wanted to swing for a decent living, I must pick one limb or another. That's what primary school feels like in a country that lives with the sins of another. When a language is muscled so hard down your throat that it bloats with generational fibrosis. When letters and verses you prayed with are prayed on like blight that prevails on a forest. When grammar is dice cut and sliced up so finely you swallow it benignly with eyes shut. When violence is fed intravenously so you can't tell your own bloodstream from poison, that's when 100 more years of colonial glory await you across the horizon. When I was 5, I was told my tongue was forked and it had to relent in submission. And listen, I tried. Ages 6 through 7, I took lesson after lesson to lessen my Indian side, pried my muscles into a straighter line, revised my vowel signs, decided where to breathe, how much to breathe, and forced my breath through clenching teeth, deafened my ears against the screech of a mouth not built for English speech. Don't overreach, my child. I'm trying to teach you how to speak. To help you succeed, have the life that you seek in a world that feeds and breeds on the fallen debris of imperial colonial fodder. So why don't you act like you're free while I edit the audio file on your collar? When I was 5, I was told my tongue was forked and to live with this tongue was improper. I had to choose. And only one choice would bring order. The beneficial language, the universal language, the God-granted golden gift that's gotten global language. The long live the legacy of Latin letters language. The long live the majesty of foreign settlers language. The master me, your ancestry is not important language. The master me, it's mandatory, I am your mother language. The choose this tongue over no other 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 language. The choose this tongue over no. I unhook my leash, spit out the rules. I look at my tongues. I do not choose. I braid them together like rivers colliding, like lovers deriving a single breath, two cultures aspiring for a single truth by the death of the difference that made them forget that a language is only as good as the pieces that make it. And I've got twice the pieces you get. So I let them entwine tongue into tongue and I watch them combine into one. Now I speak with one tongue. No splinter, no scar, jisme na hai sarhad na koi diwar. You listen, you think I'm jumping between. Batao main kaise dilaun yaqeen. You hear me in halves. I've never been fuller. The tongue that was forced down my throat like a tumor and that which to my generations belonged are finally singing a singular song. So don't let my borderless cadence perplex you. If you think it is broken, I think that reflects you. My words might be dual, my verses oblique, but I speak with one tongue. And she knows how to speak. Thank you.